Number 1 with Colston Loveland, tight end out of Michigan. This was the first controversial pick of the NFL draft because I think a lot of people thought that we were going to go Tyler Warren in this spot. To me, listen, just a quick breakdown because we did the Colston Loveland episode talking about, what we wanted to see from him, and we dropped that yesterday. But when you talk about him, I mean, the words that come to mind are athleticism and route running. He's a savvy route runner. I think for me, when you talk about a tight end, he feels more like a third wide receiver than a tight end. His basketball background, I think, is going to be phenomenal on boxing out defenders and when he's high pointing the football. Now, the contested catch was one thing that was a little bit tough. But when you start to look through more of his game tape and different things like that, you realize why the contested catch wasn't as impactful, I guess I'll say. There's not as many of them because he routes up just about everybody that he's standing on the other side of. So there's not a ton of contested catches for you to go from. So it's like having a 1-for-3 day in baseball. I'm not saying it's that few, but it's just there's not a ton of data to say, oh, well, I'm worried about contested catches because more times than not, you're dealing with a guy who's dynamic after the catch, gets the ball either in the slot or can be on the outside. He's an aggressive runner, ton of agility. He is, at least, I don't know if he'll do this at the NFL level, but to me, he already projects as somebody better than Cole Kmet on the I'm going to hit you and actually keep going forward market. We've seen Cole Kmet do that one time. That was the first time we saw JC turn into a demon on the stream where we all got a little scared after rewatching that one. But remember he ran through Buddy Chest. You were just like, rah, rah, rah. Like,
yeah.
What the heck is going on over there?
What's wrong with me?
Listen, the weakness to me is obvious, and I know a lot of people have said, well, he's a better blocker than you think. Listen, there's still a lot of development in his blocking game that I think has to come out. As good of a route runner as he is, I do wonder if there's going to need to be some adjustment with that, or if they're going to kind of let him feel free. He felt like a free form route runner to me. And what I mean by that is like, this is the route I need to run, but I'm going to run it my way to get myself open. I don't know how that's going to work at the NFL level, unless you're Travis Kelce, who kind of is the same way. But I don't know if this young man's going to be Travis Kelce. The one thing that I love about this pick and why I feel like this just makes a ton of sense for the Bears, and then I'll let you jump in here, is what we saw last year was Caleb Williams keeping his eyes down the field to the point where I don't know if he hated Cole Kmet or he just didn't want to throw, or he just didn't take the time to look towards the check down where Cole Kmet was. But there's a ton of times where Cole Kmet is wide open and he doesn't throw him the football. This is a guy who I think is going to be where Caleb Williams' eyes are, somebody that he can focus in on, somebody who is going to be down the field, and somebody I think Caleb Williams is going to enjoy playing with a heck of a lot. I give this pick an A. I saw some people going A+. I just think as far as the fit with Caleb Williams, which is what all of this is about, the fit with Ben Johnson, the fit with Caleb Williams, this pick makes so much sense to me. And the more I watch this young man, the more you just kind of go, okay, this was like the obvious pick, honestly, at the end of the day.
I mean, you know how I felt when we initially were on live and I threw my head back. Did not really like, it was a little flourish. It was definitely, I was taken aback because throughout the entire mock season, throughout the entire draft, we weren't necessarily talking about Colston Loveland. We were talking either about Tyler Warren, Ashton Genty, Mason Graham, Will Campbell, those names, Mike Green. And so it wasn't on my radar. But now that he is on the team and he's clearly on my radar, and I've done the research and I've watched multiple videos and deep dived into YouTube and done the analysis, I love everything about this pick. Yeah. As you mentioned before, not to constantly repeat everything you just said, but I mean, the guy is an elite route runner. When you put on the tape, he looks as if he is a receiver in a tight end body. He has the quickness, 4.5 speed, 4.53, I want to say, if I'm not mistaken for his 40 time. I could be wrong there, but he is everything and more that you want as a playmaker, as that receiving option outside of the actual receivers that Cole Kmet is not. Now, of course, you talk about the weakness being a blocker, but what I will say is that he is a willing blocker. It's not as if he's not trying to block. He has the desire to block. He's even said as much. And so I think that's something that will continue to improve his technique when it comes to that. But even when you mention him being able to kind of like find those openings in his routes and kind of make his own path and make his own direction to kind of find the openings in the defensive schemes, that is Travis Kelce-ish. That's what gets me tingling. Now, I'm not sitting there and saying that we got Travis Kelce on day one, but what I'm saying is the potential is there where he has the IQ in the game to kind of, be kind of like that Pat Mahomes, Travis Kelce connection where, okay, Caleb's like, all right, I know where he's going to be. Yeah. He's going to be looking for those soft spots in the zone. I can rely on him on the underneath routes. Now, when you connect, when you look at, his relationship with Cole Kmet, that wasn't necessarily his primary target or his secondary target. There was a lot of times that he overlooked him. I think that more so has a lot to do with him wanting to always play superhero ball and maybe having to kind of calm down on that and know when to just take the easy 3, 4, 5 yard pass and completion just to move up the ball down the field. But with this guy being on the team, Ben Johnson loving the 2 tight end sets, the 12 personnel, I think that's going to open up the offense even more because, again, who are you going to focus in on? It's either going to be DJ Rome. We're going to talk about Luther Burden here in a minute. You got Cole, you got DeAndre. You have a slew of stars on this team or potential star. So you're not going to be able to focus in on one guy. And that's the reason why I really love this pick is that he's just another addition to make sure that Caleb has multiple options to go to. So I give this overall pick, I'm going to say an A-.
Okay. I like that. Let's move on to the second round. Hit that like button if you have not done so. Subscribe to the page. Leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Drop your grades in the chat as well. What was your thoughts on the first pick the Chicago Bears made at the 10th overall spot there? Were you surprised by it? I think I'll say this too, and we kind of talked about it. I think this pick makes a heck of a lot more sense once you see the report that Ian Rappaport put out about how the only trade up option was at 25, and they were never going to give you enough to actually trade up from 25 to 10. So, like I said, let us know how you guys feel in the comments below. Let's move on to Luther Burden III, who was another surprise pick that the Bears made. You saw us in the on the draft video on day 2 going, oh, we saw Antoine Randall just like, oh, get in here, guys. I love you. I'm so excited to have this guy in here. It was like, what the? Oh, no, they're going wide receiver. And it just felt like that was a spot we didn't need wide receiver. Also, the how far Mike Green felt like that was a spot they weren't going to go, which that may end up biting you in the butt a little bit in the long run, but we'll kind of see how that works. But the one thing about Luther Burden is that I think he was the best case scenario offensive pick for you at that spot. He was the BPA offensive pick for you at that spot. I do think the Bears wanted to go Travion Henderson and or Quinshon Judkins. And that was the theme of the day for Ryan Poles. He just kept missing out on the running back that he wanted. But listen, at the end of the day, it's about getting an impact player. And you want to talk about an explosive player, that's Luther Burden. I mean, he's absolutely electric when you get the ball into his hands. It's not difficult to get the ball into his hands because he's got great hands and so it's going to be a pause, whatever. It's football. That's the only way to say it. He's got great hand and ball skills. I think he's as Tommy Waddle says, he's a hand catcher. There's some people that let the ball get into the body and they try to hold on to it. There's some people that snatch the ball out of the air. He's a guy that snatches the ball out of the air, recorded a 85.9% catch rate in his time in college at Missouri. He tracks the deep ball amazingly well. I think this is why, when we saw it and we were kind of laughing about who's doing these comparisons. I think this is why he gets the DJ Moore comparison. Remember, you know how DJ Moore, like when you see DJ catch the football, a lot of times, especially if he's tracking the football deep, his hands are not up. The hands come up at the very last second. Gets them up, boom, grabs the ball, and is able to move forward. I think that's something that he really exemplifies as well. It's going to be nice to have 2 of those guys on your team. I think the thing is he did just about all of his damage out of the slot. So I don't know if Olamide Zaccheaus is just, he got signed here to be a depth piece now, which probably, I mean,
looks like it. Yeah.
It's going to take a while for him to get to the point where he's at the NFL level, but hopefully it hits quicker than not. And I would think that you're talking about Luther Burden being a part of this offense day one. I think he's extremely versatile for what Ben Johnson is going to want to run. I think that he can play a little bit inside, outside. The thing for me that I would say is probably going to be his toughest challenge coming into the NFL is he didn't play a lot of like true man press at the line. There's going to be extremely physical corners in the slot in the NFL that are going to try and press up on him and beat up on him. And, not to say that he can't get there to a certain point, but it just may not happen this season. But when you talk about adding a weapon in, right, there's a ton of weapons to the outside. There may be more focus to the outside, especially with what you added at 10 with Colston Loveland. And so to me, I think you got yourself a dynamic slot weapon who just needs a little bit of polish. And listen, I get the maturity comments that we got from Steve Smith.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
But listen, dog.
I don't want the ball. Give me the ball all the time. I mean, that's every receiver.
Steve.
That's every receiver.
We watched you. And he says it in the video. He does say in the video, I had this too. But it's like, we watched you, dog. You know what I mean? We could see that, like, that we also watched T.O. We also watched Randy Moss. We also watched Justin Jefferson. Every receiver wants the football. And the good thing is you got a bunch of guys on this team who, yes, they want the football, but they understand, okay, this is my moment, this is my role. And you got Antoine Randall to punch anybody in the mouth if they get out of body. So I think we're good.
Yeah, it's the diva position. I mean, come on, like you got to expect them to want them a little bit. But no, added to your breakdown, I love this pick. Luther Burden, to me, I did not expect to be there at 39. He to me graded out to be a first rounder. He has all of the talent, and the word I keep thinking about with him is easy acceleration, easy top end speed, easy ball hands as far as like being able to pluck and cleanly catch the ball, even in traffic, easy stop and go speed. Like there's so much to his game athletically that is just, to me, makes him probably, if we're going to, I'm gonna give a meaty take right now.
Oh,
I think that he could be the best receiver coming out of this draft. When you compare him to
a meaty take, I'm not gonna lie to you. It was not a great receiver draft. Tet McMillan's really, which I'm still calling him Tet. I'm sorry, I'm not changing it. He's been Tet for 4 years. I'm calling him Tet McMillan. I apologize, Mama.
Mama named him Clay. I'm call him Clay.
Well, his mama named him Teteria. So and she looked in the camera and was like, his name is Teteria. So you can call him T-Mac, which I'm not giving him T-Mac.
Ooh, I didn't think about T-Mac.
You giving him T-Mac?
I didn't think about that.
You got to give me 5 games of like looking like the
you
best.
You got to be good though. Yeah, you do have to be good. We need you to be decent.
He's Tet till then. I don't think there's a lot of wide receiver competition for Luther Burden to be the best wide receiver out of this draft.
I mean, that's what I mean. When you think about Tet, when you think about Matthew Golden, Emeka Egbuka, the other Isaiah Bond, like this was a weaker draft. But I mean, the guys that were taken before him, you could see him outdueling or outplaying them just based off of his abilities. And, maybe the production won't be the same to start, but I mean, he has all the intangibles. He has all the skills. He has all the things to make him an eventual star, even on the level of a Roma Dunze, because NFL pro player comparison, Garrett Wilson. Like Garrett Wilson is a top athletic, top star type player, even in the league now. I mean, and I believe that he has even more to show. And so when you look at the strengths of a Luther Burden, the yak monster, when you compare him to DJ Moore, yards after catch is going to be scary. Like when you put him in open space, watch him perform. He's very hard to take down when he gets up to his top end speed. The tape is just electric. It's exciting. This was a pick that I was okay with. We didn't need to go wide receiver again. That is how I felt for the second round. But my thing is, the fact that we got him, this just makes, again, this offense more electric. Now we're going to see the depth come into play when it comes to the wide receiver because, yes, I thought that we were done with it when we got Zacchaeus. I thought that maybe Tyler Scott would get a chance to get on the field. It seems like Tyler Scott's the afterthought. I don't know what's going on with them. But, I love this pick because you can build around him, and maybe when it comes time to let DJ Moore go, you got your young core already right there to kind of take over the place of a DJ Moore. So
that's how you, this
I
how
love
you
it.
See, This how you see through those blue and orange goggles right there. It
What-
was the
what- what he
misdirection
got?
I called. The Bears loved it. Even Luther didn't know the Bears were interested. Listen,
No, he didn't.
the Bears didn't know the Bears were interested until all the running backs were off the board.
Yeah, that was kind of like the plan B.
I was
You know,
like,
Travion, did Travion go right before them?
No, Travion went probably
Quinshawn
3 or 4
first.
picks before Quinshawn went first, and then Travion went like 3 or 4 picks.
Okay,
before.
Travion. So yeah. So I mean, you know, that clearly probably was the route that we're going to go. But I mean, hey, you pivot and you got one of the better receivers in the draft, in my opinion, and he's still going to have an impact on this team. So my grade that I give them for knowing how to pivot and get a really good guy, I'm giving them an A for this pick.
I give him a B because I do feel like with what you did, now you were able to add more.
Yep.
I think there's going to be a little bit looked at though, where there was a ton of really good running backs on the board still. I think you could have still gone to the running back position at either 39 or 41 with a lot of the names that were still at the top and been like, okay, you got your guy, right? Now look, I'm not mad at it because you know how I feel. I'm happy we got the 7th round guy.
I was about to say, you should be really happy. You should be really happy.
Having a good day. But what I will say is this too. All of the question marks aside, and I know there's a lot of fans that will be happy. You left the best football player on the board. In my opinion, I think Mike Green was the best football player still on the board, and you left him on the board to be taken much later in that 2nd round. I mean, he fell a long way, but
yeah.
You know, it's in very different circumstances. And I know, you know, I've talked about Dennis Allen not wanting the smaller defensive end, the guy that's in the 240, 250 range. But Dennis Allen literally is the guy that drafted Khalil Mack. So to me, I'm always going to look at it from that angle. I still think you got a heck of a player here. And I think it's going to be good. I give this a B plus. I give it a B plus. Because I think that Luther Burden is that good. Hey man, appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. We're gonna keep this thing going on the other side of this as